busy moms, welcome to your first song of the week here. These songs that we do on a weekly basis are going to be usually between 15 and 20 measures long. As with private lessons, if you were taking from a private lesson teacher, there will be some weeks where the pieces are a little bit easier and you're like, oh, I've totally got this, and other weeks where you kind of hate your teacher maybe a little bit and are feeling really challenged. But I promise you, I try to follow the hard weeks up with a little bit of an easier week, so it all kind of balances out in the end. Our first week, we're going to work on a piece by Czerny. You might have learned some pieces by him before. He wrote lots and lots of really great little songs for his students that are pretty straightforward, but also really beautiful sounding and fun to play. So I thought he'd be a good one to start off with. The left hand actually, you'll notice, plays a 16th note rhythm. 16th notes might be new to you. They're a little bit more of the level 3 kind of level. But this is a really straightforward 16th note rhythm. They're just a further breakdown of an 8th note. So you're going to count 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. So basically, 4 16th notes equals 1 quarter note, or 2 16th notes equals 1 8th note. So it's just kind of breaking that quarter note down to an 8th note, down to 16th notes, if you will. Something that I like to do when my left hand has a repetitive broken chord pattern is to practice the left hand alone, playing the chords blocked. So instead of playing C, G, E, G, just going through and playing that chord blocked. Then in measure 3, playing this chord blocked. And that just helps me get used to the movement between the different chords, kind of getting used to the chord shapes, using the correct fingering. And that way, when you break it up and add in the right hand, you're really confident in where you're going. There's no hesitation as you switch to a different chord there. So that would be one way you could go through and just practice the left hand blocked. The right hand's going to be the melody in this piece. The left hand's a little bit heavy and repetitive, so keep it nice and light and try to bring the melody out in the right hand. That's where the really pretty part of the piece is. You'll notice these big, long, curved lines. You may remember these from when you've had lessons before. Those are called slurs or phrase marks. And you're going to connect everything underneath those notes and make it really nice and smooth. The opposite of those slurs are the staccatos, which you will see in the right hand in measure 8 there. And you're just going to play those really light and crisp. And then in measure 16, our final 3 notes, we have a short line above those notes. That's called the tenuto. And a tenuto means to play deeply into the key. So I always try to feel the bottom of the key with my finger, just make sure I'm feeling that. And that means I'm bringing that note out a little bit more. It's not like an accent. It's not supposed to be super loud, but just connecting with the bottom of the key, bringing the note out a little bit more. I'm going to play this piece for you now so you can hear how it sounds. There is a repeat sign at the end of measure 8. I'm not going to play it with the repeat. I'm just going to play it from the beginning to the end for you here.